Hello, my name is Annie Van Gelder, and I'm the President and CEO of the Birmingham Bloomfield Art Center. Established in 1957, so I think we're 1 year older than MCAA, Jim. We are thrilled to exhibit the Michigan Ceramics 2020 in 2 of our galleries. The last time we hosted was in 2012, and oh how the medium has taken off. I challenge any visitor not to be amazed by this work. To think that all of these works of art started from a humble piece of clay and then progressed to the pieces you see here today is a testament of the incredible talent of these ceramic artists. They are truly inspirational. From the emerging artists to the established artists, they commingle in their unique use of clay and display the vast interpretation of this art form. It is a pleasure to promote and exhibit Michigan Ceramics 2020 at the BBAC, and we welcome all to visit to be inspired by the artists in our state and beyond.
Hello, my name is Jim Adair. I'm currently I serve as the president of the Michigan Ceramic Art Association. The MCAA is an artist-run nonprofit dedicated to the support and promotion of the ceramic arts in Michigan. Formerly known as the Michigan Potters Association, we've been serving Michigan since 1958. The Michigan Ceramics Exhibition is a biennial showing of the best ceramic art being made in Michigan today. This year we had 70 artists submit over 200 pieces for jury. Our juror this year, Malcolm Mobutu Smith, selected 57 pieces from 47 artists to be on display here at the Birmingham Bloomfield Art Center. As with everything else this year, COVID has forced some changes to our plans. The exhibition is open to the public as usual during regular business hours, but there will be no artist reception. A virtual show is accessible as well at the BBAC's webpage. Malcolm Mobutu Smith is currently Associate Professor of Ceramic Art at the Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana. Malcolm earned his Master's of Fine Arts degree at the New York College of Ceramics at Alfred University in 1996. He studied at Kansas City Art Institute and Penn State University, receiving a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in ceramics in 1994. His work is in many private collections as well as many national and international museums. We are honored to have Malcolm as the juror for Michigan Ceramics 2020.
Well, thank you, James. It's an honor to be here. As a fellow Michigander, it's a real treat to be asked to come back and jury this auspicious exhibition held here at the BBAC, and working with the MCAA has been fabulous. Having the opportunity to look at several hundred pieces of art and the diversity and range of conversations that people are having in clay is healthy as ever. I made my selections based on looking at what kinds of conversations people are having with the raw material, a kind of dexterity of touch with the clay, and the range and diversity of subject matter that they want to deal with. It trended toward the pictorial this year, and there was a very limited amount of figurative work, but even in the figure's absence, there was a lot of surrogate callback or echoing of the figure in many of the pieces. And so I tried to balance things by the kinds of sculptural works, the kinds of vessel objects that were presented, and there was a limited selection of purely utilitarian objects, but the strength of those pieces, I think, shone through. In the category of emerging artists, for the subcategory of best sculpture, I've chosen this piece called Soaked by Ross. There is a history of using trompe-l'oeil as a theme within ceramics, but in this case, the ennobled object here is suggesting a kind of weary, melancholic state. It's called Soaked, and so we have a cardboard box that's mimetic of real cardboard, but here here, it's kind of pessimistic and in decline. And I find that kind of sweet and sad at the same time and well executed. I think it's one of the highlights of the show. In the category of the established artists, under the subheading of utilitarian objects, I've chosen this piece, Gray Jar, by Westrick. I would be honored to open up that jar and pull out some sugar or grain or rice and understand the subtlety and dexterity that the artist had in manufacturing the solid silhouette, clear use. The scale of it is good for the hand, and I just think it's a gorgeous piece that really refines the utilitarian form. With the emerging talent for Best Vessel, I chose this piece by Felix called Transition. He's really celebrating a kind of cacophonous and yet well-executed use of color and form and playfulness, and he seems completely unrestrained in his use of all these things. And so I just feel like every time I look at this piece, as I've been here in the last few hours, it just brings me joy, and I really am happy that I selected this piece to be in the show. This work by Van Zandt from the established artist group was selected as Best Sculpture. There's a kind of miasma of landscape that's offered here, but a symbolic gesture of drink these flowers offered by the eye-level presentation of this diminutive hand in the center, offering us a gift of this work. And the work in its jewel-like performance of glaze is a delight to behold and will reward multiple viewings of those that come to see the show. My selection for Best Functional Object in the Emerging Artist group is this My Wolverine side title plate by Jennifer Rossborough. When we look at the utilitarian pieces, one of the things that I felt was quite strong was the insistence on not letting artistic voice be controlled or appended by the utilitarian purpose of the object. And so these couple of plates here show a kind of dexterity of the hand and the use of playful narrative imagery in works that are wholly intended to be used. And so you get the pleasure of eating off of a painting. I think that's always a wonderful thing. My selection for Best Vessel category in the established artist goes to Orlando for Those to These. This object here stood out to me for its performance of the hand and its sort of carefree whimsy of using mixed media elements to create this wonderful collage of objects sitting in three-dimensional space on this form. If I had my druthers, I'd give everybody an honorable mention in this show. I think the diversity and range of approaches in works is delightful, from mixed media objects that interrogate the wall, to chimney stacks, to trompe-l'oeil objects, utilitarian pots, and all manner of vessels that are just a wonder to behold, from the subtle to the overt. I think this show shows the range of what ceramics is capable of in 2020.